What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here, bringing you your Monday Night Football Monkey Night Fight plays of the week. We got a 2-game special here due to COVID, moving a game for the Browns and Raiders to Monday night. That game kicks off at 5 p.m. Eastern here, and with it, Monkey Night Fight's giving us some props to target, along with the original Monday Night Football game of the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. Get in now, fantasyalarm.com/MKF to get your promo match of $100 plus a free $5 game using promo code ALARM. That's fantasyalarm.com/MKF, promo code ALARM. Get a free $5 game plus a promo match up to $100. Let's jump into today's plays here. We're going to kick it off with more or less. We're going to be looking at the quarterbacks here for Kirk Cousins and Derek Carr. For Cousins, we have 260.5 passing yards here, and I'm going to go less. I think this game is going to be pretty dominated here on the ground. I think Minnesota is going to win this one. They're currently 6.5-point favorites. Sure, Cousins may throw to Justin Jefferson and get some early yards, probably put some points up on the board, but after that, I think it's going to be all running game here for Dalvin Cook, and that's going to keep the total yardage low for Cousins, as he's not going to find himself in a shootout here. So for me, I'm going to go under on Kirk Cousins in the yards. And then with Derek Carr, 245.5, we're going to go over going up against the Cleveland Browns here. I think that Carr is going to have to throw a lot in this game. While Jacobs has looked good this season, I still find the fact that this defense being in Cleveland could be a little bit tougher to run against. And I think Carr is going to have more success throwing the football today, going up against the Cleveland Browns, given all their COVID issues. So for me, we're going to go over the 245.5 yards for Derek Carr. We're going to go under the 260.5 yards for Kirk Cousins. Next, more or less, that we're going to run through here, we're going to go look at two wide receivers. You have Hunter Renfrow and Darnell Mooney. Renfrow, 72.5 receiving yards. I'm going over on that. We've seen Renfrow now multiple 100-yard games in each of the last few weeks here. He is the number one target for Carr. There's still no Waller. He's the only reliable pass catcher really on that offense. I think he's going to continue to be fed a ton of volume here and look at Renfrow for the over 72.5 receiving yards. For Mooney, 52.5 yards. Listen, Minnesota secondary is absolute trash. They just let go of Rashard Breeland over the last week. That's how bad their secondary has been. And we know that Mooney and Fields actually do have a good connection. And Mooney can get this number in one play. He's a big play guy, gets in space, can bust a long run. 52.5 receiving yards seems like a lock for me in this matchup against Minnesota. So we're going to take the over on Darnell Mooney here at 52.5. And we're going to wrap it up with the touchdown dance here. We're going to go over over 2.5 touchdowns scored out of these three plays. We're going to go with Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, and Justin Jefferson. Again, I think that Cousins and Jefferson should connect on a big play or two here tonight. Find Jefferson in the end zone, especially we know Adam Thielen likely in the lineup for Minnesota. And then we know Dalvin Cook is going to take over this game there once they get a heavy lead. Figure a heavy dose here of Dalvin Cook coming off a monster game against Pittsburgh. And then Nick Chubb, again, we're looking at a Cleveland team really depleted. They're down to Nick Mullins as their quarterback, missing some receiving options here as well. But Nick Chubb is healthy. Regardless of the status of their offensive line, you can run on Las Vegas, and I think Chubb is going to get a heavy dose of work here, and if they do find themselves in the red zone, I think Chubb's going to get those carries, and we also know Chubb is definitely one that is likely to break a big gain. So that's it here. Those are your three plays for tonight's 2-game Monkey Night Fight NFL slate. We have more or less Cousins, less than 260.5 yards. Carr, over 245.5 yards passing. We have Hunter Renfrow, over 72.5 yards receiving. We have Darnell Mooney, over 52.5 yards receiving. And then we have the touchdown dance. Dalvin Cook, Nick Chubb, Justin Jefferson combining for over 2.5 touchdowns. That wraps up today's Monkey Night Fight plays, everybody. Let's go win some money.